peak without no regret. You got no love without no love. You got no regret without no regret. You got no love. A melody where I belong in this life. The fear no beat up keeps going on, and the melody of my escape, vibration on my soul, it sends me to the peak. Can we find any light without the music around? There will always be one love on life.
Hi again, everyone, from Fitzgerald Stadium. Post 22 Baseball is on the air with Mark Benetti. This is Tom Rudebush on Hardhats-TV. We welcome our director and cameraman, Destin Heumann. And Mark, we're ready to go tonight as Post 22 extended their winning streak last night. They play a Harrisburg team just outside of Sioux Falls, which lost their opening game of the season last night for Legion Ball to Sioux Falls East in a close game, 3-1. And Nick Heidkamp, their first-year head coach, said they had so many opportunities to score runs last night. They left 11 men on the bases, 8 in scoring position. And Harrisburg was coming out here, and we were hoping to play a doubleheader, but the rain wiped out the first game. But, Mark, it's really turned out to be a pleasant evening.
Which is something I will never understand about this state, having lived here for 4 years. My parents will ask me one day, how's the weather in the middle of May, and it'll be 75 degrees. The next day, I'm shoveling my garage out because it snowed. So I will never understand the weather for this state and how meteorology works in this region. But at that point, that's when I just smile, I nod my head, and we move on. And now we look at what seems to be, as of right now, they tell me wait 5 minutes if you don't like the weather or if you think the weather's good, and it'll change. As of right now, we're looking at a great scene right now. So here's hoping that good things happen tonight for the Hardhats, and they get to take on this Harrisburg team and keep improving, which they have the last couple of games.
Well, they had a close one last night, a 3-2 win over Watertown here. Got an excellent pitching performance again from Kyle McGuire. And Eberline finished up in relief the last 2 innings, picked up his second save. Post 22's win streak now is 8 games in a row. And, Mark, I think that the team is kind of now transitioning from this, maybe 1 or 2 games a week to, hey, we're playing 4 or 5 games in a row. And I think we're going to see a lot of improvement from this team, hopefully, when they play here consistently day in and day out.
Well, think back to the conversation you and I had a week from today when the Hardhats took on their rivals, the Post 320 Stars. You said right out of the gates, especially when 320 took a 5-0 lead, there was a lack of focus. Now, granted, weather was a factor in that game, and it is tonight, but I'd like to think that this Hardhats team is a little more focused this time around, but that is the key. And you are absolutely right. We're going to see so much more consistency because all they will have to think about is baseball, nothing but baseball, and only baseball, so help them God. So every Monday, it's going to be an 8 a.m. practice, unless Coach Master gives them an extra hour to wake up and get mobilized. But they're going to have morning practices. They're going to have more grueling road trips. We have Denver coming up next week. We've got the Gopher Classic after that, the Firecracker before that. We've got a trip to Dickinson. Then it's the regional round should the Hardhats win the state championship that they're hosting this year. So there are a lot more road trips coming up, more grueling road trips, and a lot more baseball. So it should make for a fun time for everybody involved.
You mentioned the 3:20 game last Friday night. Well, tomorrow we're going to have the second game of that season series. We're going to be on the air tomorrow night about 6:45 here on ESPN Radio and also on Hardhat-TV over at Peatline Field for Game 2 between Post 22 and Rapid City Post 320. Again, that's a 7 o'clock starting time for the first pitch, and our coverage begins about 6:45. Weather looks very good for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's the longest road trip of the year, too. We have to really travel a great distance to get to Peatline Field, so hopefully that's not too much of a factor for the Hardhats as they look for the regular season sweep against their rivals and in the Post 320 Stars. So it should make for a great performance, and personally, Tom, going back to last week's 320-22 matchup, I want to see a much better focused effort from the Hardhats, and I think we're going to see that again with all this baseball that they're playing. It's all they can think about, and it's all that they have to worry about. So here's hoping that good things happen tomorrow. I would love to see a great baseball game from both sides because if you do keep in mind, there were 12 combined errors last week, 7 to Post 320 and 5 to the Post 22 Hardhats. So it should be interesting to see how both teams adjust moving forward into the rivalry showdown tomorrow night.
You know, when we analyze this team hitting-wise and pitching-wise, let's take a moment and just look at this team defensively because I think it's fair to say shortstop Cooper Bowman, you can't play any better than he has so far this year. Whether it's Walker Paz or Tommy Wall at second, very solid defensively. You continue up the middle, you have King in center field. Connor's played an excellent center field. Zach Solano's been super in right. The interesting positions now will be third and first and left defensively. I'm not saying these positions have been fielded poor by any means, but I think that we've seen some flashes from Will Moore and Jack Sorensen at first base defensively. That's very encouraging. Justin Kramer has struggled a bit here since returning to the team from college. And Justin, I think, just needs to play a little bit more because we know he's a fine fielder. He's done it in the past. Carter Deming has been very good at third base. Riley McSherry has done a good job in left field. He got off to a little bit of a slow start in the outfield, but now looks much more comfortable. And Timmy Paris, despite last night's game when he committed the 2 errors, has thrown out some base runners, does a great job blocking balls in the dirt. This team has potential to be very, very, very good defensively all the way around.
Well, let's think of the 3 positions that you highlighted in left, in third, and in first. The reason that it is such a tough decision for Coach Messer to make as to who will play is because he has depth at all of those positions. We see Zach Sumption starting to get regular rotations in left. You mentioned earlier Riley McSherry will also get a look in left when he's not pitching and when he's not just focusing on his duties on the bump. A 3-headed monster at first. You can't leave out Luke Ferdinand. He's done fantastic, especially hitting the ball as well. So you have to give Ferdy some credit there. But to touch on first a little bit, and I've said this like a broken record the last couple of games that he's played, I love what I see out of Jack Sorensen. The kid came out of nowhere playing first base. I love what I see out of him. He brings a lot of poise defensively to the position. And when it comes to hitting, Tom, he came into yesterday's game with 6 hits in 10 at-bats, and half of them were extra base hits, 2 of which are grand slams. So Jack is doing something great offensively. I think the more looks he gets at the plate, the more dynamic and volatile he'll be when it comes to the offensive side of things, like what I see from him out of first. Let's go to the hot corner now. Carter Deming, he's been fielding out of his mind. Justin, he's been slumping a little bit when it comes to fielding, but both are the inverse of each other as of right now. Justin's hitting the ball very well. Carter, unfortunately, isn't. So if it comes down to Carter working on his swing, we could see quite the battle for who's going to play regularly at third because you know this lineup is still far away from being set in stone. We still have plenty of baseball to play, and it's not going to be up until about the Gopher Classic, maybe shortly after that. Coach Messer and Coach Hers and Coach Ewing will be locked into their go-to roster for when postseason play comes up.
Well, we've had windy weather here the last, seems like 2 or 3 weeks. Every day has been windy, and tonight is no exception. The wind is blowing out of the north-northwest right now at 19 miles an hour, which means it's blowing out towards center and towards right center, left center. That's really going to affect the balls hit to the outfield again tonight as we look at Old Glory out there really straight out with that wind. And our temperature right now is 71 degrees, so it's a very pleasant night. We have some dark clouds that have moved to the south of Rapid City. I think we're safe, at least right now, from any potential rain. The sun is out over the field, which means it's at least somewhat clear off to the west. So we look for a pleasant evening here tonight and an interesting game with Post 22 and Harrisburg.
And we look forward to a pleasant 7 innings as well. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the lineups representing each team in those 7 innings we have of regulation. We're going to start off with Harrisburg. They're batting in the top halves of the frames. Leading off is number 1, Tanner Brown. He's patrolling right field. Batting second is number 22, Caleb Deist. He is patrolling center field. Batting third is number 7, Zach Lanier. He is playing shortstop. And in the cleanup spot is number 15, Anthony Lanier. No relation. He's in the hot corner at third base. Batting fifth is number 16, Cam Burnt. He is the catcher and backstopper for the starting pitcher who's batting in the 6th hole for Harrisburg. That's number 9, Leif Thorson, the starting pitcher. Batting 7th is number 23, Colin Kennard. He is playing left field. Batting 8th is number 14, Jacob Roussaut. He is playing first base, and rounding out the batting order in the 9th hole is number 5, Sam Menke. He is defensively positioned at second base. We mentioned Leif Thorson is the starting pitcher for Harrisburg, and he'll go up against the Hardhats batting order as follows. We do have a couple of changes and a couple of shifts to the lineup, so let's get right to it. Leading off for the first time since the season opener is number 12, Connor King. He is patrolling center field. Batting second is number 13, Zach Solano, once again patrolling right field. Batting third is number 22, Cooper Bowman, out at the shortstop position. And in the cleanup spot, this time moved from designated hitter to left field, is number 23, Eric Petrie. Batting fifth is number 21, the backstopper, Timmy Paris. He's playing catcher. Batting sixth is number 30, Jack Sorensen. Tonight he will be the designated hitter. Doesn't have to worry about anything on the defensive side. Batting seventh is number 20, Will Moore. He'll be playing out at first base. Batting eighth is number 16, Tommy Wall, playing second base. And rounding out the batting order for the Hardhats in the 9th hole is number 14, Justin Kramer. He is in the hot corner at third. Tonight for the Hardhats on the mound, it is Zach Cholis who will be on the bump. 3 1/3 innings of work under his belt. This will only be the third game that Cholis has appeared in for the Hardhats, and it's his first by virtue of his start. 2 strikeouts to 3 walks. He has 3 hit batters as well, but a 2.1 ERA. So you can't really take too much out of those statistics here, Tom, because he's had such a light workload. But this is a good opportunity for him to try and work himself back onto the pitching staff for the Hardhats as they take on another varsity Legion team.
It will be interesting to see Zach throw tonight because, like you said, it's been so long. I think it was it Billings? Yes, that we saw Zach pitch. So that was the first road trip. Well, we played at Spearfish, but that was the first extended road trip, and Zach got to pitch in Billings that first weekend of May. So it's been almost a month since we've seen him with the varsity.
Well, folks, we'll have the national anthem. We'll be right back with First Pitch here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City, broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box here at the Fitz.
With more than 300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org.
You don't have to try to hit a home run when you're hitting singles and doubles all day. Consistency wins games, and it's key to helping achieve your retirement goals. At Weitzel Financial Group, they believe they're there to help with your own ideals and goals. Head toward your field of dreams. Call Weitzel Financial Group for a consultation at 348-1152. Kurt Weitzel is a registered representative and investment advisor representative with and offers securities and advisory services through Commonwealth Financial Network member FINRAS IPC, a registered investment advisor. Weitzel Financial Group, 817 9th Street, Rapid City, South Dakota, 57701.
Trusted Choice Insurance agents are independent agents.
I pledge to be your guide, not only to insurance, but to insurance companies.
They don't actually work for any one insurance company.
And to use my independence to identify the coverage that's best for you.
This means they can customize policies from several companies in ways that other agents just can't. And they commit to that.
And I pledge.
In writing. Trusted Choice. You need an independent insurance agent.
Black Hills Insurance Agency, a tradition of service since 1949.
Back here at Fitzgerald Stadium, Post 22 has just taken the field as Zach Cholas will get the start tonight. Mitch Messer meeting with the umpires, and here comes Nick Heidkamp, the first-year coach of Harrisburg, and Jay Wang is his assistant, both in their first year. Harrisburg did not get out of their state regional last year. Good to see Brandon Hunt here at the game tonight, the former Post 22 player, one of the three Hunt brothers that played Post 22 baseball, Brian, Brad, and Brandon the youngest. Head coach down in Iowa now. And Brandon was here, of course, to watch the game, but to attend the funeral of Coach Dave Plouffe tomorrow, which will begin at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning at Calvary Lutheran Church, 10 a.m. tomorrow. But it was good to see Brandon. He is an excellent baseball coach, had a great career with Post 22, and the thing I like about Brandon is that he's got a great sense of humor. You have to have that if you're going to be a baseball coach.
Well, if you're going to do anything in life, let's be honest. If you don't have a sense of humor, then you're doing something wrong.
That is very true, Mark Benetti. That is a good life lesson there from you.
Let's take a quick look at the Hardhats' defensive alignment. Zach Cholas is on the mound. He's going to go up against the top three of the Harrisburg order, starting off with Tanner Brown, followed by Caleb Deist and Zach Lanier. Cholas is paired up with his battery mate and catcher, Timmy Paris. At first is Will Moore. At second is Tommy Wall. At shortstop is Cooper Bowman. And in the hot corner at third is Justin Kramer. Left to right in the outfield, Eric Petrie, Connor King, and Zach Solano. Probably my favorite part of the game for the Hardhats, especially on defense, is when they take the field first and they all clank the Hardhats together. That means that we are set to rock and roll.
Tanner Brown is the leadoff hitter here for Harrisburg. The right fielder, right-handed batter. So we're set to go from Fitzgerald Stadium. Cholas, a left-hander, swings into his motion. The first pitch of the game is a ball down low, and it's 1-0. So we're underway at 6:57 this evening, and our game time temperature 71 degrees. Here's the 1-ball pitch, and a strike over the outside corner. Clyde Millslegel calling the balls and strikes tonight. Bert Reddy on the bases. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball, grounded foul outside of first. And Cholas works ahead on the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Tanner Brown in that first game of the season for Harrisburg went 0 for 5. He got a lot of looks at the plate.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch on the way. It's poked foul off to the right. And Brown hangs in with a count of 1-2. Harrisburg played that game against Sioux Falls East last night, and they got up, bust into Rapid City today, got here about 3 o'clock or so. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 at the knees. Strikeout of Brown. Good start for Zach Cholas.
Third strikeout of the year for Cholas as he takes on his first lefty in the lineup.
Here's Caleb Deist up the center fielder, and he swings and fouls 1 for strike 1. No balls and a strike, and Cholas delivers. A ground foul right in front of the Rapid City third base dugout. And it's no balls and 2 strikes, and Cholas is quickly ahead of the second hitter here in the game. Boy, that's good to see. Zach got a strikeout on the first batter and throws a high fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And a strike is called. Dice is called out on strikes. Second strikeout for Cholas, and that brings up Zach Lanier, the shortstop.
Well, that's something that we really need to start seeing from these hard hats pitchers. We need to see them close out with 2 strikes, 2 backwards Ks, and 2 batters.
Lanier, right-handed batter, and he bounces a foul. Boy, Zach has had some good velocity on that fastball here to start off. Some of the hitters for Harrisburg, the first 3 have not been on his fastball, and they've been late. 1 strike on Lanier. Here's the pitch. Another foul off to the right. And look at the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
Out of all the strikes that Zach's thrown so far, 3 of them have been called and 2 of them have been resulted in outs. Every other one of them has been fouled.
Outfield is straight away. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's inside. It hits him on the lower left leg. Well, there's a 2-strike pitch that got away from Cholas, a hit batsman. And that'll bring up Anthony Lanier, the third baseman.
And as we discussed earlier, no relation between the 2 gentlemen, too.
Anthony's a right-handed batter. Yeah, you would think Harrisburg, 2 Laniers in the lineup. Lanier, a big right-handed batter. Here's the pitch. He chops a foul tip into the mid of catcher Paris, and it's 1 strike.
The Rush had a problem like that earlier this season. Ryan Walters, the captain, and Nick Walters, the rookie defenseman. One's from Minnesota, the other one's from Alberta.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, a roller towards short. Here comes Bowman to glove it. Here's his toss to first base for the out. Short to first as Cooper Bowman comes into the game with no errors through 17 games, and he throws out the first hitter that rolls him a ground ball. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. First half inning of play, post 22 coming to bat. There is no score from the Anytime Auto Sales press box on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Coke Zero goes with things like this. This. And this. Coke Zero tastes like this.
He shoots! He scores!
It sounds like this. It feels like this. So when the game is on, try it with this. Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste. 0 calories, 0 sugar. Coke Zero goes...
Well, what a surprise. You get in the press box, and one of my longtime dear friends from Legion Baseball, Jim Peck, is here from Excelsior, Minnesota. Here, obviously, for Dave's funeral tomorrow. Jim, we're going to get you in here in a couple of innings, if you would.
My pleasure, sir.
That would be great. Jim and his program in Rapid City have been probably our best rival over the years. We've had a lot of good rivalries, Creighton Prep, and a certain team across the parking lot, 320, started a rivalry. But I'll tell you, Excelsior, Minnetonka, and Post 22 have had some great games over the years. I've got a story that I know Jim will, I know he'll remember it. He'll probably be too much of a nice man to probably tell me that it's true, but here we go to the bottom of the first inning. Connor King leads off for Post 22, the center fielder. Connor, a left-handed batter, hitting .280 with 3 doubles and 11 RBIs. Leif Thorson winds and throws. Breaking ball in for a strike, and it's 0-1 on Connor. Connor made one of his patented diving catches last night. Here's the 1-strike pitch, and it misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball in there. Strike 2 call. Good off-speed breaking pitch to King. And Connor with a count of 1-2.
It's crucial for Connor to try and contribute offensively, especially if he's going to be the leadoff man.
He rolls one towards short. Lanier scoops it up. His off-balance throw is in time for the out. 1 up and 1 down in the post 22 first. When I talked with Nick Heidkamp, the coach of Harrisburg, before the game, I said, what players should we watch? And he listed his shortstop right up there on top, and he just made a nice play. In fact, it looked like Cooper Bowman making that play. Here's Zach Solano, the right fielder, hitting .344. 4 home runs for Zach on the year, 22 RBIs. And a slider in for a strike, and it's 0-1. One strike on Solano. 3 doubles and a couple of triples also for Zach. He pokes this one out in the left center field for a base hit. Over to pick it up is Diced, and it'll be a single for Solano. Zach just kind of reached out and hit a soft line drive out into left center field.
And that's smart for Zach, because you know everybody's going to play him deep. He has such power with his bat that everybody's just so taken off guard when he hits anything less than a home run or an extra base hit in the gap.
Cooper Bowman hitting .415, takes a pitch low and inside, ball 1. Cooper off to a great start. 3 home runs, 16 RBIs on the season. 6 doubles, 3 triples. Swing and a miss at that off-speed breaking ball. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
We can't forget the hitting streak of Cooper Bowman. He's looking for 15 consecutive games with a successful hit.
And over the hitting streak now, Cooper is 20 for 42, hitting .476. There goes the runner on a delayed steal. The ball gets away from the catcher, Burnt, and a stolen base for Solano. He hesitated, then broke before the pitch was to the plate. It was down in the dirt and got away from the Harrisburg catcher. Count to Cooper is 2 balls and 1 strike. So Solano at second with 1 out. Here's the set by Thorson. The 2-1 pitch, swung on, line to right for a base hit. The ball over near the foul line, hustling over Brown to pick it up, but here comes Solano to the plate, and he scores. So Cooper drives in his 17th run of the season with a single to right field. 1-0 post 22, and there you go, Mark, for Cooper, and 15 games in a row.
And how about this, too, Tom? Cooper came into that at-bat hitting .308 with runners in scoring position, so he's only going to see that rise again. That shows you exactly why Coach Messer moved him to the 3-hole, because he's clutch and because he delivers.
Here's the top hitter now, Eric Petrie, taking a pitch up high from Thorson for ball 1. Petrie at .472, 4 homers, 17 RBIs, and Eric has an 11-game hitting streak. He lines one through the hole to left field for a base hit. Bowman will go to second. He'll check up there. Well, it doesn't take Eric long to extend his hitting streak to 12 games, and now he has had 20 hits in his last 38 at-bats. That's about .521.
Those are just absurd numbers, Tom. It's almost as if these guys are playing a video game right now, because I just can't comprehend how someone can be hitting so well, and especially 2 people, with Cooper Bowman setting the trend and then obviously Eric following suit.
Here's Timmy Paris up, hitting .323, and takes a pitch down low for a ball. Timmy has 9 doubles, 2 home runs, and 25 RBIs. Infield looking for a double play, up a couple of steps, and a foul coming back and out of play by Paris, and the count is 1-1. King grounded out to start the inning, but we've had consecutive singles here by Solano, Bowman, and Petrie to produce the first run of the game. 1-1 on Timmy Paris. Roussat playing off the bag at first with Petrie. And Timmy takes that pitch down in the dirt for a ball, and it's 2-1.
Timmy had an RBI hit last night, so it's good to see him getting back into his good form of knocking runners in, particularly in scoring position, and that's exactly what he has with Cooper standing 180 feet away from the plate.
Here's the set and the pitch. Missed inside, and the count runs to 3-1. Jack Sorensen on deck. Wouldn't it be something to see him come up with the bases loaded again?
Well, we all know what's happened the last 2 times it's happened.
3-1 on Paris. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Breaking pitch down and away. Good pitch by Thorson, and it's a full count now on Paris. Bowman at second. Petrie at first with 1 out. Here's the set by Thorson. The 3-2 pitch is hit to shortstop and speared by Lanier. Throw to second for 1. Relay to first, not in time. Boy, Lanier speared that ball on 1 hop in the webbing of the glove. Gets the force out of Petrie at second. Bowman advances to third. That was a fine play by Lanier now, who's made 2 good plays here in this first inning. Jack Sorensen comes up. Jack comes up with runners at the corners and 2 out. .423 on the season for Jack. 2 doubles, 2 home runs. As we know, both of them grand slams. He has 18 RBIs on 11 base hits this season. Here's the pitch. Fastball in for a strike.
And you mentioned, Tom, that he has a .423 batting average coming into this game. How about a .450 batting average with runners in scoring position, almost nearly identical?
Here's the pitch. Check swing and a breaking ball down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Those 22's team batting average .328 coming into the game. Their runs per game dipped a little bit, now 10.4. There's a pitch inside, and it hit Sorensen. He says it hit him, and Yogi Milslegel says it hit the batter or the bat, but Yogi now changes his mind and sends Sorensen down to first base, hit by the pitch. I think Jack showed Yogi the bruise on his arm, and that was enough evidence. The coach for Harrisburg came out to probably ask Yogi, why did you call it a foul ball to begin with? So Bowman at third, Paris at second, Sorensen at first, and Wilmore is the hitter. Will hasn't had a lot of at-bats on the season, hitting .200. He's 4 for 20 and takes a strike on the low outside corner. 4 hits and 20 at-bats, 2 doubles and a triple. He has 2 RBIs. Right-handed batter, the pitch. Swung on, fouled off to the right, and the count is 0-2. A 1-0 post-22 lead here in the last half of the first inning. And they have a chance with the bases loaded and 2 outs to add to that lead. 2 strikes on Wilmore. Thorson's pitch a little bit high, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I'd like to see Will protect a pitch like that because that was awfully close.
Tommy Wall waiting on deck. Here's the set by Thorson. The 1-2 pitch, that's down low again in the dirt. And the count all even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Clouds have come over the ballpark now. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss for strike 3. It looked like an off-speed pitch. Strikes out Miller, and that retires the side. First strikeout for Thorson. Post-22 scores a run in the first inning on 3 hits. No Harrisburg errors, and post-22 leaves 3 men on base. So at the end of 1 inning of play, post-22 Hardhats 1, Harrisburg nothing. You're listening to Post-22 Baseball from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Great faces, great places. Wet paint? Yep. And around here, when great places need a little love, great faces band together. Each year, First Interstate Bank employees help local organizations put a fresh coat of paint on homes of those in need. A small gesture, perhaps, but one that puts smiles on faces and strengthens bonds in the places we serve. First Interstate Bank. It's you and I together.
End of 1-0 post 22 leading. Zach Cholas, a couple of strikeouts in that first inning, a ground ball out. He had a 2-strike count on Zach Lanier and hit him on the left leg, so that was the only miscue for Cholas in that top half of the first inning. He'll face the 5, 6, and 7 hitters here in the top of the second.
Tell you what, Tom, this is a very important start for Cholas for a number of reasons. Number one, it's his first time back with the varsity in a while, but more importantly, just from my observation, Will Moore is really the only lefty that these Hardhats have throwing for them on the mound. If Cholas can really get things settled down and in gear, having an extra left-handed arm to throw becomes absolutely crucial, especially when the postseason comes up.
Cam Burnt, the catcher, takes the fastball in tight for ball 1. Right-handed batter. Here's Cholas' 1-ball pitch. Swing and a foul, popped off to the right. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and 1 the count. The pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. A pitch up that Burnt went after. Cholas winds and throws. Strike 3, a good fastball on the outside corner just above the knees. Zach Cholas has his 3rd strikeout already. And Leif Thorson coming up, the pitcher.
If there's any common thread to all 3 of the Ks Zach Cholas has in the book, they're all backwards. Every strikeout he's had has caught the batter window shopping.
Thorson swings and misses at the first pitch for strike 1. Thorson again a right-handed batter. Starting pitcher for Harrisburg. Here's the pitch. Fastball strike. Over the outside part of the plate, above the knees, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. I would say Zach Cholas' strike percentage here in his first few batters is extremely high. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. 4 strikeouts in 5 outs for Zach Cholas. 2 down, and that'll bring up Colin Kerwald, the left fielder.
That strike percentage, by the way, Tom's at 85.7%.
Swing and a miss by Kerwald. 1 strike.
And now even higher. 22 pitches, he's only thrown 3 balls.
Wow. Here's Cholas into the motion, his 0-1 pitch. Foul back. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. Oh, and 2 the count. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Low and outside, a ball. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Strike 3. Kerwald strikes out. 5 strikeouts for Cholas. We go to the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 post 22 here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Well, we're all set now for the bottom half of the second inning here at Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium. The post-22 Hardhats still holding on to a 1-0 lead here over Harrisburg with 8, 9, and 1 due up for post-22. Tommy Wall, Justin Kramer, and Connor King slated to hit for the Hardhats. Mark Benetti and Tom Rudabush alongside you for all the action tonight and for this season. Tonight we are broadcast once again on ESPN Radio Rapid City, the official radio home of Post-22 Hardhats baseball that you can find on your radios at 105.7 FM and 1340 AM. And as always, we are on Hardhats-TV, which can be found on the internet at post22baseball.com. Numbers across the board through an inning and a half for the Hardhats. It's 1 run on 3 hits with no errors. And for Harrisburg, it's 3 zeros across the board. No runs, hits, or errors to speak of. Tommy Wall comes up to lead off for the Hardhats. Tommy Wall, this will be the 11th game in which he has taken to the batter's box, a .308 batting average. And his first pitch that he sees from Leif Thorson is low and away for ball 1. Thorson goes full windup on Wall. Here comes the 1-0. That's a called strike on the outside part of the plate. A ball and a strike now to Wall. He thought about swinging at it. He decided to hold up.
Well, I got my microphone back from the car that we need. When Jim Peck comes up, he needs his own microphone. Here's the 1-1 to Wall. Low and outside a ball. 2-1. 1-0 post-22. Kramer and King to follow. Thorson's pitch on the way. And it's low, and the count goes to 3-1.
Tommy Wall's walked 5 times. He's only struck out once. In one pitch, he could see his 6th base on balls of the season.
Swing and a miss by Wall. And the count is now 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch. Low and outside. Ball 4. So Wall draws the leadoff walk here in the bottom of the second inning. Here's Justin Kramer, the third baseman, hitting .273. 2 doubles, a home run, and 2 RBIs. Here's the pitch by Thorson. It hits Kramer. Second hit batsman. Mark, I haven't done what I told you I was going to do when we were in Pierre. Figure out how many hit batsmen we've had this year.
Yeah,
there's 2 more to add to the total.
I actually could figure that out. Including tonight, the Hardhats just alone. The Hardhats have 23 times in which they've been hit by a pitch. Looks like we have a conference on the mound. Everybody joins in. It'll be men on first and second. Back to the top of the order for Connor King now. Who comes up for his second at bat of the ball game, 0 for 1 with a ground out to short.
Well, that conversation involved the entire infield, and the hitter now will be Connor King. Let's see if Connor might be bunting here. With runners at first and second, nobody out. Connor grounded out to short his first at bat. So Thorson has gotten himself into trouble with a walk and a hit batsman. Here's the pitch. King bunts the ball foul just off to the left of home plate. So Connor had the bunt on, 1 strike. One of the similarities between Coach Mitch Messer and Coach Dave Plouffe, who Mitch, of course, played for, was an assistant, is their use of the bunt. There's the pitch just on the outside corner now, and it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, if there's any silver lining to King not being able to go for the bunt here, he's .500 with runners in scoring position. He has a man standing on second right now.
0-2 the count. Here's the pitch, and it's too high for a ball. 1-2 on King. Wall at second, Kramer at first, and nobody out here in the last half of the second. Post-22 with a 1-0 lead. Outfield playing King straight away. Here's the set by Thorson, the pitch. Swung on, line foul down the right field line. Count runs along at a ball and 2 strikes. Connor, who's played just outstanding in center field this year, his average dipped below 300 now, and he takes a pitch high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So as Mark made the point earlier in the game, Connor can be just a tremendous player if he can add a little offense, especially when he's in that leadoff spot. Here's the pitch. Swung on a high fly ball out into deep right field. Brown going back. He's in front of the warning track. He looks up, and that ball is gone over the right field fence for Connor King. There's the offense. Connor's first home run of the year, and it gives him 14 RBIs.
What a hit by Connor King. And what the predecessor to that hit was a foul ball that he absolutely destroyed out of play into Rapid Creek. That time he made great contact, great timing, and he just launched that out of the park. What a solid hit for number 12.
So here's Zach Solano. Zach singled to left center, his first at bat. To extend his hitting streak, and he looks at a breaking ball for a strike on the outside corner. And Thorson's pitch. Swung on, drilled out into center field. Deist is over and makes the catch towards left center. Zach hit it well, but no problem for the Harrisburg center fielder. 1 down here in the last of the second. 4-0 now, post 22 leading. And here's Cooper Bowman up the shortstop. Cooper singled to right, drove in a run his first at bat. 4 runs on 4 hits for post 22. Pitch comes in, swung on, fly ball into right center field. That's a long run for Brown. He's not going to get to it. That ball hits at the base of the fence in right center. Here's Bowman around second, heading for third. He's going to make it. Sliding in with a triple, his 4th 3-bagger of the season. Hit number 5 for post 22, and they have a runner at third with 1 out for Eric Petrie.
The second that ball came off of Bowman's bat, you knew he was going to go for extra bases. The second he saw it kick off the wall, he knew he was going to go for 3. Great commitment from Cooper, even better to turn on the twin turbos in his cleats, and he was there, no doubt about it.
They're going to keep the infield back, and an off-speed breaking ball is called a strike over the inside corner. 1 strike on Petrie. Here's the pitch. There's a pop-up coming back here.
I was ready for it, Tom.
I'm not sure how safe I feel after you said that, but 2 strikes to count on Eric, and the pitch is swung on, drilled out into left center field, and that ball is going to hit and bounce off the fence underneath the scoreboard. Trotting home is Bowman as Petrie lines a double to left center field. Eric's 5th double of the year. He's got 18 RBIs. And it's 5-0, Rapid City leading for Timmy Paris. The post 22 catcher bounced into a short to second, force his first at bat. Here's the set now by Thorson, the pitch. Swing and a miss, the breaking ball away, and it's 1 strike.
By the way, Tom, I saw 2 gentlemen head over to the Harrisburg bullpen, Jared Inskeep and Michael Hybertson. Something to look for as this inning goes on.
Here's the set now by Thorson and the pitch. And it's in the dirt, blocked by Burnt, the catcher. Petrie hangs on at second. Post 22 with an 8-game winning streak, and they're off to a 5-0 lead here over Harrisburg. Here's the set by Thorson. The pitch on the way, swung on, line to right field. Brown is going to catch it, and that's out number 2. He didn't have to move too much, backed off a couple of steps. And Paris lines to right. 2 down in the post 22 second. And that brings up the designated hitter, Jack Sorensen, who was hit by a pitch his first at bat. A run on 3 hits in the first inning for Post 22. They've got 4 runs on 2 hits here in the second. Swing and a foul at the plate by Sorensen. 1 strike on Jack. Played both at first base and has been the designated hitter. Here's the pitch. Swung on, line to left field for a base hit. That's going to score Petrie. Sorensen takes a big turn around first, hangs on with a single. That's Jack's 19th RBI of the year. And Post 22 has batted around now as Will Moore comes up. 9th man to hit, struck out swinging to end the first inning. Fourth hit of the inning for Post 22. Here's the set. Thorson's pitch. Swung on and hit foul. Out of play off to the right. 1 strike. Thorson glances over to first. Rusat holding with the runner, and the pitch is a strike on the outside corner. And it's 0-2. Oh-2 pitch, a high fly ball to center field. Backing off is Diced. He's way back. He's not going to get it. It's off the fence to the left of the 393 sign. Here goes Moore to third with a stand-up triple. Well, Will Moore has 5 hits on the season now, 2 doubles and 2 triples. Make it, 2 doubles and 2 triples. 3rd RBI. And this looks like it's going to be the end of the line for Leif Thorson.
Good on Will to hit the way that he did. Great contact. And I was really hoping that they were going to take a while on the relay, because you could see when he rounded second, he was running out of gas. He was giving it everything that he had to try and get over to third. So good on Will to place the ball where he did. He made some great contact, and obviously Jack was coming around to score, no doubt about it. So Hard Hats have really woken up here on offense. Not to say that they were asleep at the switch in the bottom of the first, but you look at a 1 spot compared to a 6 and a 7-0 lead, and now they've got a new arm on the mound to worry about. We'll take a quick recess. We'll identify the license plate of the new gentleman on the mound. We'll be right back in just a few moments here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hard Hats Baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Camping World is here to help you connect to adventure and explore the outdoors with friends and family, offering new and pre-owned RVs to fit every budget and thousands of parts and accessories for any need. Camping World has it all. With over 125 supercenters nationwide, you're never far from America's #1 RV dealer. No matter where your adventures take you, whether you need an RV, parts, or service, Camping World is here to help you every step of the way. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
Jared Inskeep is the new pitcher for Harrisburg. A left-hander. Post 22. Had 3 consecutive singles in the first inning to score their run, but they have exploded with 6 runs here in the second inning. On 5 hits. They've had a 3-run homer from Connor King. An RBI double from Petrie, an RBI single from Sorensen, and an RBI triple from Moore. Tommy Wall bats here in the second inning. Tommy walked to start this whole inning off. So let's see how Inskeep can do here. The pitch on the way. And it's outside and high for ball one.
By the way, Tom, Leif Thorson ended up going an inning and 2/3, 7 runs, all earned on 8 hits with a strikeout to a walk, 2-hit batsman on 52 pitches.
Swing and a miss by Wall, and the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Don't forget, tomorrow night we'll be right across the parking lot at Pete Lean Field as Rapid City Post 22 takes on Rapid City Post 320, the Stars. Pitch down in the dirt, 2-1 now on Wall. 7 o'clock for the first pitch, and our broadcast here on ESPN Radio at 6:45 and on Hardhat-TV also at 6:45. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's down low and inside. So the count goes to 3-1 on Tommy Wall. Justin Kramer on deck. And the pitch on the way. Breaking ball strike on the outside corner. Three balls and 2 strikes. And the payoff pitch. Swung on, bounced foul down and back. Off-speed breaking ball to Wall, and the count runs along at 3-2.
Here is your payoff pitch.
Wind has died down a little bit, but still blowing out towards right field, center field. Swing and a foul at the plate. All got a piece of it, and the count runs along at 3-2.
That's what I like so much about Tommy in the batter's box. He will fight, and he will make you earn that strikeout on the mound.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the payoff pitch from Inskeep. Another foul at the plate. 3-2. Clyde Millslegel rubs that ball down, throws it out to the pitcher, and in Major League Baseball, that ball would never see the light of day again. One little scuff mark, and it's gone. Here's the payoff pitch to Wall. A little tapper to the mound. Inskeep grabs it, runs towards first, and flips to first base. Wall is out to retire the side. Post 22, though, has 6 runs in the second inning on 5 hits. There were no errors, and Post 22 strands the runner. Jim Peck will join us as we start the top of the 3rd inning at the end of 2. Post 22, 7. And Harrisburg, nothing. You're listening to Post 22 Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org.
Well, very special guest in the booth with us here tonight, and it's Jim Peck, a longtime friend from Excelsior, Minnetonka, Minnesota, where Jim coached for many, many years and brought a lot of teams to Rapid City. We've always gone to the Gopher Classic, which Jim organizes. And Jim, it's great to see you. I wish we were seeing you under a little bit better circumstances, but it's great to see you.
Thank you, Rudy. It's very difficult as a 44-year friend and rival, and just like for all of us, it's just part of life, and we have to deal with it.
Jacob Roussat, the first baseman leading off for Harrisburg. He's the number 8 hitter, right-handed batter against Zach Cholas, who has 5 strikeouts in the first 2 innings. And throws a strike, and it's 0-2. When you met Dave 44 years ago. And I assume that was on the Ball Diamond?
Right here.
2 strikes.
First trip we ever took when I got in the Legion program.
Pitch is low. So that would have been 1973.
About then, yes.
If my South Dakota math is correct.
Well, and it's shaky, I realize.
Pitch is outside a ball. It's 2-2. We have the funeral services tomorrow for Dave at 10 a.m. at Calvary Lutheran Church, and I know you and him experienced some great games together, great stories, a lot of laughs as the pitch comes to Rusat outside, and Cholas has a rare 3-ball count. 3 balls and 2 strikes on the Harrisburg first baseman. Three balls and 2 strikes. The pitch on the way. Swing and a miss for strike 3. 6 strikeouts now for Cholas. Jim, what were the things that you saw in Dave that made you want to continue playing us and we wanted to play you? Because I know Dave had the greatest respect for you. He didn't necessarily like some of your uniforms over the years, but he had great respect for you.
He should talk.
Swing and a miss by Sam Menke, the second baseman.
We liked the fact they always came to play and they played the game right. They got on and off the field. There wasn't any John with the umpires or doing some of the stuff you see today.
Here's the pitch, a foul hit back to the screen. 0-2 on the number 9 hitter. 7-0, post 22 leading Harrisburg bats here in the top of the third inning. Is there any one game that you can remember that stands out in the games here or back at the Gopher Classic?
Well,
and it didn't have to be us, just you playing.
We had a game with part of a doubleheader, the first game in one of your tournaments. And it was with Moorhead, and the lady umpire, Fran, was working. And in my opinion, only had missed one occasionally.
Pitch is high.
And I thought she missed one out at second on the front end of a double play. The guy was about 12 feet from the bag when he got the ball. The guy at first is out. And I went out to ask her about it, and she decided I should go to the parking lot.
High and outside, a full count now on Menke with 1 out.
I had another coach and 3 players. It was one of 3 times I've been thumbed out of a game in 2,500 games. So, but the great part of this story is we came back about 3 years later.
Payoff pitch. Strike 3 on the outside corner, and Menke is out 2 away here in the third. 3 years later.
Another one of your tournaments, and we're playing Rapid City in the feature game of the night. They announced all the lineups of both teams. They turned all the lights off in the ballpark. And they turned on a spotlight, and here comes umpire Fran with a C&I dog. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. And that was a proof orchestrated thing.
I don't think he had anything to do with it.
Yeah, right.
Tanner Brown takes a strike at the knees from Cholas. He was called out on strikes in the first inning. Zach hasn't allowed a hit. He has struck out 7 of the 8 outs. There's a foul hit down the right field line. No balls and 2 strikes. Jim, one of the things I remember the most when we came to your the Twin Cities was playing in the Metrodome that first time, and we did that several times.
Right. We always had the finals of our Gopher Classic in the Metrodome till it ceased to be.
I remember us just playing you two in some regular season games. There's a comebacker to Cholas, and he'll throw to first base to retire the side. 1, 2, 3,
I have
nothing
no
across.
idea how many times we played over the years, but it was quite a few, and I'd guess Rapid City probably won about 60% of the games, and we won 40.
The thing I remember about that first time we ever played in the Metrodome with you, we played a doubleheader, and I think your junior team played the first game, and then your varsity played the second game, and we kind of toned down our lineup for that first game. But what I remember, and this is, the Metrodome had only been in existence maybe 2-3 years, I think, at the time, was that there was a tremendous thunderstorm outside as we played the games inside.
Right.
And, gosh, I remember the kids thought, geez, we heard the booms and the lightning flash, but here we were playing baseball in the Metrodome.
Yep.
Another instance that you might recall, we met each other in Omaha at the College World Series tournament when one of the umpires didn't show up. And I wasn't broadcasting that particular day, and we're waiting around, and Dave suggests, well, Tom can do it. He can be the base umpire. And you were such a gentleman. You agreed. He said, I remember you telling me you'll do a great job. And in the second inning, one of our players had a check swing. And the home plate umpire yells out to me behind the mound, "Did he go?" And I say, "I don't think so." And here comes this voice from the Minnetonka dugout, Mr. Peck himself. "What do you mean you don't think so? What the H are you talking about?"
Yeah, and I don't recall that particular incident where you umpired. I guess I blocked it out of my mind.
Leading off here for post 22 in the last half of the third inning, Justin Kramer with a count of 2 strikes as he takes a breaking ball on the outside corner. Justin hit by a pitch, scored in the second. Keeps pitches outside 1 and 2.
I know one year we played 5 times in 5 different tournaments. And the only game that Rapid City won was the one here.
Here's the pitch, and it's down low.
That's when he went and put the guy that played in the big leagues for a long time at shortstop as a 9th grader. Ellis. He did that in Sioux Falls.
You know what was also very neat, and I think this was probably one of the neatest moments I've ever experienced in postseason play, is a fly ball down the right field line by Kramer, and it is dropping as sliding was Brown. He couldn't come up with it, and Kramer's going to end up at second base. A little pop fly down the right field line, and it's going to be ruled a base hit. So Kramer's going to get a pop fly double. This was a great moment because it was 2002, and both of our teams made it to the Legion World Series in Danville, Virginia. That was something special.
And the way it was set up, we played each other game 1.
I can't remember who won that game.
You did. 10 run us.
I got him on that one, didn't I? I got him to
but to go
hook line.
To go a little farther with that.
That's all right.
Rapid City had gone home and we're still playing.
Yep. You guys ended up making a great run there after that opening day loss.
We won 2 unranked games and beat the best, what I thought was the best team in the tournament, Dothan, Alabama, in the semifinals. But they were so wound up they couldn't breathe.
Connor King fouling a pitch to the ground off to the left. 1 strike, 1 out. Nobody out, I should say, with Kramer with a leadoff double. Connor is grounded out to short, hit a 3-run homer last inning. Takes a pitch low for a ball, and it's 1-1. It must have been a kick, and I know you enjoyed it when you brought your teams out here, the crowds that you would draw here, the crowds that your kids got to play in front of.
Yes, we don't get to do that. So we're in a metro area with 9 million things to do, and
right.
Legion baseball's not on a high priority list.
1-2 now on Connor. But, boy, you brought some good ball clubs in here over the years. Pitch is a breaking ball low. One of the things I remember, too, and I'm a little disappointed that you didn't nurture this a little more. You know what I'm talking about?
No, sir.
Well,
you'll remind me.
You'll remember this because pitch is outside. You have twin daughters.
I do.
And they used to bring them along on the trip. And there was one that especially caught my fancy. I took her to lunch at Arby's one day, and pitches outside, ball 4, and King walks runners at first and second. Post 22 leading 7-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. But when you found out that we had gone out to lunch, and I got back and came into the stadium and called you Dad, that really kind of scared you, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. That was, and of course you never followed up on it, so now it's your loss.
And the pitch in for a strike to Zach Solano, who has singled to left center and lined out to left center. Zach is 1 for 2. Well, you had, like I said, they were great young ladies. Are they in the cities now? Or?
Yes, they are.
Okay. There's a hard ground ball, and it's a knockdown by the shortstop Lanier. Throw to second, safe. Second baseman Menke couldn't hold the ball. Nice stop by Lanier, the shortstop, but they couldn't get an out. And the bases are loaded.
We draw a little better now than we did when I started because we got the big-time ballpark, as you know now.
Yes, you have a beautiful park.
Number 2 ranked high school Legion facility in the country. That's a combo.
There's a high fly ball by Bowman. Left field in towards the line comes the left fielder to make the catch, tagging up and coming home, and they score. Kramer, but they've got a runner trapped off second, and he is out. King is ruled out at second base. So it's a sacrifice fly for Bowman as he does get the run home. And then the second out occurred after the runner had scored on second base. I'm not sure Connor got trapped too far coming around second, whether he was trying to tag or...
Left fielder, number 23.
So a run does score. It's 8-0 now, post 22. 2 outs and Eric Petrie. Anything else, Jim, that you want to say about Dave and his influence on Legion baseball?
He's just an icon. We all have heroes. He's one of mine, along with, if this makes any sense, Sir Winston Churchill. In their own way, they just do special things. And it's a great loss for the community of Rapid City, and great loss for Legion baseball, one of the all-time winningest coaches in the country.
1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left for post 22 as Petrie flies to right to end the inning. So at the end of 3, it's 8-0 post 22. We'll bring Mark in here for the second for the 4th inning. Jim, I'm looking forward to being able to talk to the at the funeral as Dave's eulogist tomorrow. And, I've never met a man that... Dave was the most honest man I ever met. You may not like his opinions, or you may not have, but he never played head games with his players. He told the players exactly what he expected of them. And the other thing, players were so disciplined under him on and off the field because they knew there were consequences. In life today, there's a lot of things that go on there's no consequences for. And today, that's Dave stuck to his guns. But, and I just adore Coach Plouffe, but I have a lot of respect for you because you've been there just as long as Dave have. And your involvement with Legion baseball, like Dave's at the national level, has been a tremendous influence on maintaining Legion baseball and the integrity it remains today, and you're a big part of that.
Thank you. Well, we're trying. I'm pretty involved with the American Baseball Coaches Association, and we're trying to get some stuff done there also for youth baseball and all of baseball. And at least baseball's been growing a little bit in the last several years, where it hadn't been for the previous 10 or 12. Part of that might be Major League Baseball, the RBI program in the inner cities.
Well, Jim, thank you. We will be seeing you tomorrow. Thank you for coming up. It's great to see you. Mark Benetti for the 4th inning.
Caleb Deese leads off with a single on the very first pitch that he sees. It's the only hit that Zach Cholis has given up in this contest so far. Caleb Deist, my apologies. He's now 1 for 2 with a strikeout. Zach Lanier is up. He was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. The first pitch that he sees is a ball inside. And his count starts off at 1-0. Mark Benetti alongside you for the top half of the 4th inning. No runs on a hit with an error now for Harrisburg. The Hardhats, 8 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Cholis a peek at first. Here's the 1-0. Check swing on an inside pitch, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. So Deist led off. Lanier is currently up. Zach, that is. Anthony Lanier is on deck. It rounds out the 3 gentlemen that are scheduled to hit in this inning. Zach Cholis has been on fire in this start. He checks down to first. It's not there in time. Zach Cholis has 7 strikeouts in this game. 5 of them at one point were consecutive. From Cam Burnt all the way down to the 9-hole hitter, Sam Menke. He has just been on point. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on, and that ball's hit to first just by Will Moore's glove and into right for a base hit. Rounding second and heading for third, and then immediately thinking about it and coming back to the bag was Caleb Deist. So Deist advances 90 feet. Zach Lanier gets a single. So it's back-to-back singles to bring up Anthony Lanier. So Harrisburg, the first 3 innings, doesn't score a run, doesn't register a hit. They're actually going to rule that an error against Will Moore. So it's an E3. I thought it was going to be a base hit. So an E3, an error now on each side of the board. Here comes Anthony Lanier, who grounded into a fielder's choice. First pitch is fouled, and he starts behind 0-1. It ended the top half of the first inning. Cam Burnt is on deck. He struck out looking. Here comes the 0-1 to Anthony Lanier. A little too far inside. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. 1-1 now the count here from Zach Cholis to Anthony Lanier. He has men on first and second to worry about. Harrisburg trying to get back in this game. They trail 8-0 here in the top of the fourth. No one out. 1-1 to Cholis. Is a called strike. Ball and 2 strikes now from Cholis to Lanier. Zach Cholis is looking for his 8th K in the scorebook. He's 1 pitch away from accomplishing the task. He agrees on a sign with Timmy Paris. He has a quick look around the diamond. 1-2 pitch. Rides up high, and the count evens up at deuces, 2-2. Cam Burnt is on deck. He struck out looking in his first and only plate appearance in this game. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cholis to deal to Anthony Lanier. Looks at the base path. Cholis was going to chuck his deuces. However, time was called at the absolute last second. Cholis was about to begin his motion before Lanier said, hey, I need a couple of minutes to think here. So 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count. Cholis looks at second to first. Chucks his deuces. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 8th strikeout of this start for Zach Cholis. That's 1 man down with men on first and second. And now that brings us to Cam Burnt. Burnt 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking. He is one of 8 different victims of Zach Cholis, excuse me. Cam Burnt, first pitch, swung on and fouled. He starts behind 0-1. Should Burnt keep this inning going, it would be Jared Inskeep that's on deck. He takes over for Leif Thorson. Burnt has men on first and second. That means the double play could end the inning. 0-1. Fastball up high, ball and a strike. 1-1 now the count here to Burnt. Standing on second, a leadoff single, Caleb Deist. Standing on first, reaching on an E3, Zach Lanier. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Cholis deals to Burnt. Fastball up high, 2 balls and a strike. Should Burnt ground into the double play and end the inning, the Hardhats will go to 5, 6, and 7 in the order. That's Timmy Parrish, Jack Sorensen, and Will Moore. Hardhats looking to protect an 8-0 lead. And then transition to the offensive side of things. Blow the lead even further. 2-1. Swung on and fouled. Out of play. Goes off the window of Shep's Peak to the right of our booth. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Zach Cholis looking for his 9th strikeout. Takes a quick look around the base path. Here's his 2-2. Swung on and fouled again. And Cam Burnt stays alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Jared Inskeep, the relief pitcher, is on deck for Harrisburg. Cholis still looking for that 9th K. He checks second. Cholis deals 2-2, high and away, and the count goes full. A very rare full count. It's only the 3rd time Cholis has had to throw a payoff pitch in this game. We'll read exactly what he's accomplished in the scorebook in just a few moments. Big payoff pitch here. Cholis from the stretch deals the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And it is the 9th strikeout in the book for Zach Cholis. My goodness. 2 down. First and second still occupied. Here comes the left-handed hitting and left-handed throwing pitcher, Jared Inskeep. So Cholis again. First pitch rides up high on Inskeep. Want to know the count. Colin Kerwald is on deck, the left fielder, should we get that far. If Inskeep's the final out, the Hardhats go to 5, 6, and 7 in the bottom of the fourth. Here comes a 1-0. Fastball just missed high and outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Jared Inskeep was the second of what were eventually 5 consecutive strikeouts for Cholis from the second and third innings. Leif Thorson was. He takes over for Thorson. 2-0. Swung on and fouled. And the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Now, Leif Thorson only got 1 at bat. My apologies on the miscue there. An inning and 2/3 thrown, 7 runs, all of them earned on 8 hits. Two balls and a strike to count. Cholis deals. Fastball caught the outside part of the plate. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. The lefty is looking to close this inning out. 1 pitch away from doing so. Men on first and second, 2 outs, top of the fourth. The Hardhats still with an 8-0 advantage. 2-2 from Cholis is swung on and fouled again. And we will await another 2-2 pitch. If Inskeep keeps this inning going, Colin Kerwald's on deck. He was the 5th of now 9 Zach Cholis strikeouts. If he is retired, Timmy Paris will lead off the bottom of the fourth for post 22. Here comes the 2-2. High and away, and the count will go full. The next pitch will be number 64 for Cholis. That he deals to Jared Inskeep. Whether it ends the inning or keeps it going is yet to be seen. 2 men on, 2 out. Cholis looks around. From the stretch, payoff pitch, swung on and just fouled. And Inskeep stays alive. And once again, it's another payoff pitch. Standing on second, Caleb Dice. Standing on first, Zach Lanier. Both gentlemen reached on a single and an error, respectively, to get on the base path. Payoff pitch number 2. Swung on and fouled again. Lather, rinse, repeat. Payoff number 3 coming up. It'll be the 66th pitch that Cholis deals with the hopes of ending this inning. First and second for Inskeep. 2 outs, top of the fourth. Hardhats trying to protect an 8-0 lead. Cholis again. From the stretch, will now step off the rubber and fake an attempt at second. So we still have to wait for that third payoff pitch. He's looking for his 10th strikeout or a pitch put in play to retire Inskeep. Cholis deals the payoff. Swung on, and the ball's hit to short. Bowman gets it on the hop. Running, throw to first is scooped by Wilmore, and it's in time, and that is going to end the top half of the fourth inning. So for Harrisburg, it's no runs on a hit with 1 error charged to post 22. That was on first baseman Wilmore. 2 men left on the base path, one of which was in scoring position. And at the end of 3.5 innings of play, exactly half the game has been completed, and the Hardhats still preserve their 8-0 lead. We'll be right back in just a few moments, folks, with the bottom half of the fourth. Timmy Parrish, Jack Sorensen, and Will Moore scheduled to hit, barring any defensive and offensive substitutions. We'll be right back here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City, as we broadcast from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box here at the Fitz.
Try to hit a home run when you're hitting singles and doubles all day. Consistency wins games, and it's key to helping achieve your retirement goals. At Weitzel Financial Group, they believe they're there to help with your own ideals and goals. Head toward your field of dreams. Call Weitzel Financial Group for a consultation at 348-1152. Kurt Weitzel is a registered representative and investment advisor representative with and offers securities and advisory services through Commonwealth Financial Network member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Weitzel Financial Group, 817 9th Street, Rapid City, South Dakota, 57701. You don't have to...
We're right back at it as the Hardhats transition from defense to offense with the bottom half of the fourth inning coming up. Post 22 holds on to an 8-0 lead over Harrisburg with Timmy Paris, the catcher, Jack Sorensen, the designated hitter, and Will Moore, the first baseman, scheduled to hit for the Hardhats. Jared Inskeep still on the mound for Harrisburg. He has now thrown 2 1/3 innings of relief. He came in for Leif Thorson, who started off the game for Harrisburg, when an inning and 2/3 allowed 7 runs, all earned on 8 hits. First pitch to Timmy Paris, swung on and hit to the shortstop. It's stopped on the play by Zach Lanier, but his throw to first isn't in time. So it's an infield single for Timmy Paris to lead off the bottom half of the fourth inning. And now that'll bring up the DH, Jack Sorensen. So Paris is now 1 for 3 as he adds that single. Jack Sorensen comes up 1 for 1 with an RBI single. A run scored. He was also hit by a pitch in the very first at-bat he had in the ballgame. Paris, not that big a leadoff first. First pitch to Sorensen's a called strike at his knees on the inside part of the plate. Sorensen starts off 0-1. He faces Jared Inskeep. 0-1 pitch, misses low and away, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Will Moore on deck, 1 for 2 with a ribby triple and a strikeout swinging. He will round up those who are scheduled to hit in this inning. 1-1. What a curveball that was from Inskeep. Catches the outside corner. Ball and 2 strikes now, the count to Sorensen. Timmy Paris on first with the leadoff infield single. 1-2. Missed low on another breaking pitch. Sorensen thought about it. Rested the bat on his shoulder. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Inskeep has yet to retire a batter with a K in the scorebook. Only 1 strikeout for Harrisburg pitching. That was Leif Thorson's. And it was Will Moore. 2-2. Swung on, and that ball is drilled to left field. It is high, it is far, and it is off the wall. Timmy Paris rounds second. He's going to third. Jack Sorensen has a double, a stand-up double at that. A well-hit ball to the left field wall. And now it's 2 men in scoring position with no one out here in the bottom of the fourth. And that will now bring up Will Moore, who had an RBI triple the last time he was up. A well-hit ball to left for Jack Sorensen. And now Will Moore has a chance to possibly knock 2 runs across. 2 men in scoring position for Will Moore, the first baseman, as he faces the lefty Inskeep. First pitch. Breaking ball outside, 1-0 to Moore. Will Moore is very interesting. He defends and throws left-handed. He bats right-handed. There are some batters that can do that. I just don't know how. 1-0. Fastball outside corner. Called strike. Ball and a strike now the count. Walker Paz on the roster is his inverse. He defends and throws right-handed. He bats left. Walker not playing in tonight's game. Normally at second. 1-1. Misses high at the letters of Moore. 2 balls and a strike now the count. Walker has the night off. I can almost guarantee he'll be in the lineup tomorrow for the rivalry matchup against Post 320. Tommy Wall on deck has taken over second base tonight for Paz. Here comes the 2-1. Moore watches it outside again. Another fastball. And the count goes to 3 balls and a strike to the hard hat first baseman. 3-1 now the count. Men on second and third. And the 3-1 just caught the outside part of the plate. And the count goes full to Will Moore. On third's Timmy Paris. He singled to get on the base path. He was advanced to third on Jack Sorensen's double. That's the gentleman standing on second. Payoff pitch from Inskeep to Moore. Just down for ball 4, and Will Moore earns a base on balls. That will load up the bases. Here comes Tommy Wall. Wall on the game 0 for 1. He walked, came around to score, and that monster second inning for the Hardhats in which they put up 6 runs. He did ground out to the pitcher to end that same frame. He batted around twice. Justin Kramer now on deck. Bases loaded to Wall. First pitch is swung on, and that's pushed down right field line, and it's going to drop for a base hit and go all the way to the corner. 1 run's going to score. Advancing to second is Wall, and stopping at third is Will Moore. It's a 2-run RBI double for Tommy Wall with no outs here in the bottom of the 4th, and the Hardhats now have a 10-0 lead over Harrisburg. A well-hit ball opposite field for Tommy Wall. Will Moore now on third. And still no one out. So now Justin Kramer comes up. He has 2 men in scoring position to worry about. Doubled and came around to score the last time he was up. He looks at a first pitch strike, a fastball on the outside corner. 0-1 his count. In his first at-bat, on the very first pitch Kramer saw, he was hit by it. Also came around to score in that instance. 0-1 is swung on and hit over the head of the second baseman, Sam Mankey, and into right for a base hit. Will Moore's going to come around to score. Tommy Wall advances to third. It's an RBI single for Justin Kramer, and now the Hardhats have piled on a 3rd run in this frame. It's 11-0. A well-hit ball by Justin Kramer. That's back-to-back right-handers going opposite field. Still no one out. And now we go back to the top of the order to Connor King. He has men on the corners and no one out. King is 1 for 2 with a ground out, a walk, and a 3-run home run. He looks at a first pitch strike on the outside corner. Lefty on lefty matchup here. Here comes the 0-1. Misses away. Ball and a strike now the count to Connor King. And King absolutely destroyed that ball over the right field wall. It was well hit. His first home run of the season, and it was good for 3 runs. 1-1 to King. Swung on, and he fouls it. Just in front of the announcer's box. A ball and 2 strikes to count. Jared Inskeep about to throw his 43rd pitch in relief of Leif Thorson. Zach Solano is on deck. He's 1 for 3 with a single, a run scored, a stolen base, a fly out to center, and he also reached on an error. One ball, 2 strikes to count. Full windup for Inskeep, and he deals. There's a strike. As Connor King was hit by a pitch. To get on the base path. Zach Solano starts off with the bases loaded and an 0-1 count. 0-1 is swung on, and that is pushed foul. Just out of play, right field side. Now quickly he's behind. 0-2. Bases are loaded here for Solano. Who has a glorious opportunity to add even more to the Hardhats run tally. It currently stands at 11-0. 0-2 to Solano. Breaking ball swung on and hit up the middle. That's going to go into center for a base hit. 1 run's going to come around to score. Here comes the second. That's Tommy Wall. A 2-run RBI single for Zach Solano. And the Hardhats are piling it on. It is now 13-0 with men on first and second here in the bottom half of the 4th. Connor King advances to second. Tommy Wall and Justin Kramer come around to score. And so now here comes Cooper Bowman, and we have another mound visit for Jared Inskeep. Shortstop, Zach Lanier has come in. Looks like he has some orders to bark out to his infield defense. Inskeep will stay on the mound. And Lanier will go back to short. It looks like we're all set and ready to roll. Cooper Bowman now up. He has an RBI single, a triple, and a sac fly RBI. So 2 ribbies for Bowman and the extra base hit. also came around to score once. Men on first and second for Bowman. First pitch he sees, he fouls. And he starts behind 0-1. Still no one out here in the bottom of the fourth. The Hardhats have currently put up a 5 spot, came in with an 8-0 lead. Now all of a sudden it's 13-0. Here comes the 0-1. Breaking ball outside. 1-1 now the count. I like the off-speed breaking pitches of Inskeep. They're great. He's just getting teed off by a team that can hit. 1-1 to Bowman. Fastball misses low and away. 2-1 the count. Eric Petrie's on deck if he comes up, which he most likely will unless there's another triple play like the Minnesota Twins turned last night. He'll keep the inning going. Bowman's 2-1 is swung on and hitting the left for a base hit. Rounding third and coming home is Connor King. Back to second is Solano, and he's safe. It's an RBI single for Cooper Bowman as King scores from second. And it is now 14-0. The Hardhats still on top with no one out here in the bottom of the fourth. That is the third RBI hit for Bowman. 2 RBI singles and then the RBI sac fly. Technically not a hit, but he still made contact when he got the sac fly. Still no one out. Here comes Eric Petrie. 2 men on. He looks at a breaking ball at his letters. That's high for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Petrie. So the Hardhats, for the second time in this game, have batted around the order. Timmy Parrish, who started off this inning with a single, is on deck. Next pitch to Petrie, swung on and missed on an inside pitch. Ball and a strike now the count. Petrie on the game is 2 for 3, a single, an RBI double, a run scored, and a fly out to right field. Here's a 1-1. Pitch is outside. 2-1 now the count to Petrie. Parris on deck is 1 for 3. Hit into a 6-4 fielder's choice. Flew out to right. Singled to start off this inning. 2-1 is fouled off the inside of Petrie. He was jammed. 2-2 now the count to the Hardhats left fielder. / designated hitter. Tonight he is in the former of those 2 roles. 2-2. Inskeep deals, swung on and missed. Strike 3. Petrie chased the outside curveball. That is the first strikeout in relief for Inskeep. It's the first out of this bottom half of the fourth, and it's going to bring up Timmy Parris again. So Parris started off this inning. I'm going to have to once again adjust my scorebook to say that this is the 4th inning, not the 6th. And the first pitch to Parris misses low for ball 1. 1 out, men on first and second. So the double play can end the inning for Harrisburg. Here's the 1-0 to Parris. And that misses low, 2-0. Jared Inskeep still on the mound in relief of Leif Thorson. On first, Cooper Bowman. On second, Zach Solano. 2-0 is swung on and ripped by the shortstop Lanier and into left for a base hit. Zach Solano is going to come all the way around to score. Here comes Cooper Bowman. He gets the red light. Timmy Parris is on second with a stand-up RBI double with 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. And now the Hardhats lead is 15-0. So that's 2 at-bats in a row that Parris has registered a hit. Cooper Bowman is now on third. Parris stands on second. Here comes Jack Sorensen, who doubled the last time he was up in this inning. First pitch, swung on and missed. Breaking pitch inside, and he's behind 0-1. Bowman now on third. Parris standing on second. 2 men in scoring position for Sorensen. 0-1 is swung on and fouled. He went opposite field with that down first base. 0-2. Will Moore's on deck. He had a base on balls to come around and score. Full windup here for Inskeep. 0-2 to Sorensen. Breaking pitch misses away. It goes off the glove of Burnt, the catcher. Play at the plate doesn't come. The throw's wide, and Cooper Bowman safe as he advances from third on the passed ball. Timmy Parris will advance to third as well. And the Hardhats now have a 16-0 lead. As Jack Sorensen has a 1-2 pitch now to worry about. 8 runs in this inning for Post 22. This half inning has taken 15 minutes. 1-2. Sorensen bloops it to second. It stops Made at first. No one's covering the bag, and he is safe. No, they're going to call him out. Wow. My goodness. They're calling him out, much to the disappointment of this crowd. I could have sworn he was safe, but that's why I'm not an umpire. Whew, wow. Timmy Paris comes in to score, though, so Sorensen will still get the RBI. 3-1 is his sequence to register him out. Base path is empty now in 2 outs. Here comes Will Moore. First pitch to Moore. Swung on and missed. 0-1 the count. My goodness, Jack Sorensen was safe by all accounts. So 17-0 now the Hardhats lead. It's an RBI ground out for Sorensen. 0-1. Curveball misses outside. A ball and a strike now to Moore. Moore has the base path empty. He walked in his first at-bat in this inning, tripled the previous at-bat, knocked in a run as well, struck out to start off his offensive entries. So 1 for 2. 1-1. Swung on and missed. Ball and 2 strikes now the count. Ball and 2 strikes to Will Moore. And Inskeep deals. High at his elbow. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch from Inskeep is swung on, and that is popped high in the air to shallow left. Underneath it is Lanier from short, and he makes the catch, and that will retire the side. Well, the Hardhats see 12 gentlemen come to the plate to take some swings. They knock in 9 runs on the power of 7 hits. 1 error was charged to Harrisburg, and nobody was left on the base path. That took a while, but there's 4 full innings in the books. The Hardhats have a 17-0 lead to protect. We have a new pitcher on the mound as we begin the top half of the 5th. After this, in just a few moments, we'll be right back from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box here at Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium. You're listening to the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Some folks say it doesn't matter how you get the job done, as long as it gets done. To us, however, we won't be satisfied unless performance is coupled with integrity. Black Hills Insurance, a tradition of service since 1949. Why do so many business people trust us? Well, we're pretty nice folks, of course, and we really know our stuff. Black Hills Insurance, a tradition of service since 1949.
Well, the outing of Zach Cholis comes to an end. Very unfortunate considering that he was playing some outstanding baseball on the mound. So Jack Sorensen is now pitching for the Hardhats. And we also have another substitution. Carter Deming is in at third. We also have a third substitution. It's now Todd Stevens behind the plate. A lot of changes here. Speaking of changes, there's another one. We have a pinch hitter, Mitchell Hybertson, is now in to bat for Colin Kerwald. So Michael Hybertson comes in for his first at-bat of the ballgame as he takes on Jack Sorensen, who is the new pitcher for the Hardhats. What a start by Zach Cholis, though. First pitch from Sorensen's a ball to Michael Hybertson. 1-0 the count. Next pitch also misses a low ball, 2 to Hybertson. 2 balls, no strikes. Cholis went 4 innings. He allowed 2 hits, not a single run. Struck out 9. Next pitch is swung on, and it's hit to first. Will Moore gets the stop. He underhand tosses it to Sorensen, who gets there for the out. Great defensive play by Will Moore. 3-1 in the scorebook. 1 up, 1 down. That's going to bring up Jacob Rusat.
Your first baseman, number 14, Jacob.
So now Jacob Rusat comes up. In this game, he's 0 for 1. He struck out. He was the 6th of what were eventually 9 strikeouts that Zach Cholas threw in the start. First pitch. Breaking pitch from Sorensen, called strike on the outside corner. He's behind 0-1. Not a single walk issued by Cholas. However, he did hit a batter. As the next pitch from his reliever in Sorensen misses for a ball. 1-1 the count here to Rusat. 1 out in the top of the 5th. This game can end in this inning. 1-1 is fouled off the end of the bat. Ball and 2 strikes now the count from Sorensen to Rusat. Sam Menke, the second baseman's on deck, barring any substitutions, and it looks like there will be one. I think I see Josh Kroll in the on-deck circle. 1-2, hits him. And so Jake Rusat will go to first on a hit batsman. So 2 hit batsmen in this game for post-22 pitching, 1 from Cholas and 1 from Sorensen. That and an error have contributed to only 3 free base runners in this ballgame. And now brings us to Josh Kroll, who comes in for Sam Menke. First pitch from Sorensen, a called strike. 0-1 the count. Kroll comes in for Menke, who struck out looking in his only at-bat of the ballgame. That was the 7th of 9 Sorensen strikeouts. 0-1, catches him at the knees, called strike. 0-2 now from Sorensen. Looking for his first strikeout in relief. 1 out and a man on first, top of the 5th. Hardhats with a 17-0 lead, and the next pitch is low for ball 1. 1-2 the count here to Kroll. Hardhats looking to get out of this game as quick as they can. A double play can also ensure that. 1-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. So there's the first strikeout in relief for Jack Sorensen. 2 down. And now the game rests on the bat of Tanner Brown. 17-0, the Hardhats have the lead. Back to the top of the order we go to Tanner Brown, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. And the first pitch he sees is a breaking pitch inside from Sorensen that misses. 1-0 the count. Should Brown keep this going, Caleb Dice, the left-handed hitting center fielder, is on deck. Next pitch is a strike on the outside corner, a fastball from Sorensen to Brown, a ball and a strike. Man on first here for Brown. Sorensen working relatively quickly. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on and fouled into Rapid Creek. A ball and 2 strikes the count. And on 1 pitch, Jack Sorensen can end this ball game. Sorensen, a quick glance to first. And now time is called. He's going to step off the rubber. Outside of that pause for time, Sorensen has been working relatively fast. And now again, he's going to step off. Ball and 2 strikes to count. Sorensen agrees on a sign. Quick work. Here comes the 1-2. Just missed low. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. Sorensen's 1 pitch away from ending this ball game. In almost an hour and a half. 2-2. Missed outside, and now the count goes full. So Sorensen has to throw 1 more pitch, at the minimum, to Tanner Brown, who's 0 for 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. Taking his lead off of first, Jacob Rusat. Payoff pitch, swung on, and that's blooped first base side, and that is going to drop just foul. And Tanner Brown stays alive, as does Harrisburg. Sorensen, once again, is 1 pitch away from ending this game. 17-0 here in the top of the 5th. The Hardhats have the lead. 2 outs, 1 more to go with a man on first. So for the second time in this at-bat, Sorensen will throw a 3-2 pitch. Here comes. Low and away, ball 4. So Brown takes a 2-out walk. Then on first and second, that's going to bring up Caleb Deist. Men on first and second for Deist. 1 for 2 with a backwards K and a single. First pitch from Sorensen rides too far inside, 1-0. 17-0. Hardhats have the lead. They are 1 out away from ending this ballgame. Here comes the 1-0. Fastball just missed outside, 2-0. If Deist keeps this going, Zach Lanier is on deck. He's 0 for 1, hit by a pitch and reached on an error. Here's the 2-0. Swung on, and that ball's ripped to short. Bowman, the stop, easy toss to second, is in time to Tommy Wall, and that is going to end the ball game. All it took was 4.5 innings of work, and the Post 22 Hardhats get the win, 17-0 over Harrisburg. Harrisburg will go to 0-2 on the season, and the Hardhats now have won their 9th consecutive game. They will improve to 16-2 in 18 games. Final look across the board for Post 22. It was 17 runs on 16 hits. I believe they've made a scoring change. They have no errors on the board. And for Harrisburg, no runs, 2 hits, 2 errors. Tom will be back to join me for our post-game recap. We'll throw some numbers at you, present the MVP, and set the table for tomorrow's second rivalry matchup, as Post 22 will take the longest road trip of the year across the parking lot to take on the Post 320 Stars. We'll be back after this, broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box here at Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium. You're listening to the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
With things like this, and this. Coke Zero tastes like this.
He shoots, he scores!
It sounds like this. It feels like this. So when the game is on, try it with this. Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste. 0 calories, 0 sugar. Coke Zero goes with things like this.
A 17-0 Post 22 win, their 9th win in a row. And as you said, Mark, they are 16-2 on the season. And what do you say? I mean, the bats were alive. There wasn't much doubt about this game after 2 innings. And Post 22, their hitting statistics are going to skyrocket after this game.
Yeah, absolutely, Tom. I'm trying to look through the box score right now. I'm almost positive everybody in this lineup got a hit. I looked at Connor King. His glaring hit was the 3-run home run in the bottom of the second. Zach Solano had 2 singles, one of which knocked in 2 runs. Cooper Bowman went 3 for 3 with a sac fly RBI, an RBI single twice, and a triple. 2 runs scored. Eric Petrie had 2 hits on the ballgame. Timmy Paris hit in his last 2 at-bats. Jack Sorensen an RBI single and a double. Will Moore had an RBI triple. Tommy Wall had a 2-run RBI double. And Justin Kramer had a double and an RBI single. Everybody registered a hit. You're exactly right. We're going to see almost everybody batting around 300 tomorrow night when they take on 320.
Well, there is one player who had his batting average drop. Eric Petrie went 2 for 4. That's 500. But he came into the game batting .514. So his average, I just checked, went down about 0.9 of a point.
Just barely went down. But
can you believe that? Go 2 for 4 and your average goes down.
That's just unfortunate, but it's the funny thing about baseball. That's just how it works sometimes. You have a great game, and something will still bring you down just a slight notch. But nonetheless, everybody's hitting statistics will go up. And I'll tell you what here, Tom, just to dovetail into the MVP, somebody's pitching stats that will dramatically skyrocket. Zach Cholis. This gentleman was on point from his first pitch, from his first batter, all the way to the last gentleman that he saw at the end of the top half of the 4th inning. He ends up going 4 full innings of work, 2 hits, not a single run crossed home plate. And here's my biggest thing for Zach. 9 strikeouts to not a single base on balls. He did have the 1-hit batter, however, But on 66 pitches, he had 9 strikeouts and not a single base on balls was issued. And he came close a couple of times. He had, if my count is correct, 4 full counts on the game. But on those full counts, he went forwards K, backwards K, forwards K, and a 6-3 ground out. So 3 strikeouts on 4 full counts, and then the other gentleman puts the ball in play, and Cooper Bowman works his magic. I can't say anything more about this game. This was just phenomenal.
Well, and we were talking many times this year. We found the post-22 pitcher, at least tonight, that could get to the count to 2 strikes and finish it off. I mean, we've seen so many times where post-22 pitchers have been ahead on the counts, end up walking or maybe even hitting a batter or giving up a hit. But you got to give Zach a lot of credit. Like you said, we haven't played with the varsity in a month, and he looked very good. Now, Harrisburg may not be the greatest team that he'll face all year, but still, you have to go out. You have to throw strikes. The plate is the same size against Harrisburg as it against Omaha Creighton Prep. You have to throw good pitches. And very nice performance for Zach Cholas. Did you name your MVP then?
Yes, Zach was my MVP. He was without a doubt. I mean, again, like I said, he, from his first batter, from his first pitch, until the last person that he saw at the end of the top half of the fourth when he finished pitching, he was just dialed in. To the point that you made of where we've seen these post-22 pitchers jump ahead with a 2-strike count, and then they hit a batter, or they give up an untimely hit, hanging a ball right over the heart of the plate, or they end up walking the gentleman. You thought that was going to be the exact same trend, because if you go back to the top of the first, Zach strikes out his first 2 batters looking, and then on an 0-2 pitch, he hits Zach Lanier. And for the longest time, that was the only base runner that Harrisburg had. Following the hit by pitch, it was a 6-3 ground out to Anthony Lanier to end the inning. And then Cam Burp, Leif Thorson, Colin Kerwald, Jacob Rusop, and Sam Mankey all struck out in a row. And then you go to Tanner Brown, who ended up grounding out 1-3 right back to Cholas to end the top half of the third. I mean, you couldn't have drawn it up any better for Zach Cholas. It was a great appearance back from this team after quite an absence from the varsity level. And I mentioned it at the start of the broadcast, Tom. He needed to have a great game, not only because of the fact that he'd been gone from varsity so long, but because post-22 needs another left-handed arm to rely on. You can't just throw Will Moore into the fire as the only lefty and run him into the ground. You need another left-handed arm to come out, throw strikes, and play a solid game on the mound. That's exactly what Zach did tonight.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing him maybe pitch more with the varsity. We don't know what Coach Messer's pitching plans are going forward, but we do know that tomorrow night at 7 o'clock we'll be at Pete Lean Field over across the parking lot as post-22 the Hardhats will take on the post-320 Stars. And our broadcast will begin at 6:45 here on ESPN Radio and also on Hardhat-TV. 8-7 was post-22's win the first time these teams met. And I'm looking for a tough game tomorrow night, Mark, and it's going to be on their field. It's going to be a very, very interesting game.
I hope it's not interesting in the sense of what we saw last Friday with 12 combined errors between both teams. But I do hope it's interesting in the sense that both teams come ready to play, come focused, because we did make that a talking point last Friday, that it didn't seem that the Hardhats were really focused. And then 320 lost focus in the 8th, allowed the Hardhats to come back in with a 6th spot on the board, and that was all she wrote. So I'm looking forward to both teams locking themselves in, realizing what's on the line, a rivalry battle. The Hardhats looking to extend their win streak to 10 games. It should make for quite the contest tomorrow.
I look forward to it. Thank you, Mark. Good night.
Thank you, Tom. We will see you tomorrow from Pete Lean Field on 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, ESPN Radio Rapid City. For Tom Rudabush and our director, Destin Human on Hardhats-TV, this is Mark Benetti saying so long, good night. We'll see you tomorrow at Pete Lean Field.